right, sir. What do we got this time?
Hello, Krampus.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's Christmas time in my heart.
Yeah, I get it.
You should see my house right now.
Is it fully festive?
Well, I like Christmas more than Halloween. So Sarah and
Really?
Well, Sarah and I are both festive people.
Okay.
But she likes both, but she prefers Halloween, where I'm the other way
That's
around.
the pumpkin sleeve.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's the pumpkin sleeve. But yeah, I love Christmas. So
I do
it'll
too.
be Krampus sweaters every day for me from here out.
Okay, I love Christmas, but I don't like doing any of the stuff for Christmas, like the setting up of decorations and all
I
that
like
nonsense.
that part. I don't like the tear down.
Oh yeah, the teardown's trash.
The tear down
Might
is
be
like
why I don't
waking
like
up from
setting
a
up.
hangover.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why is there a tree?
Why do
in
I have
there?
to do this? Where's the water?
Anyway.
Yeah. So, all right, we're back on it. Round number 22.
22.
And for those of you wondering when your tattoo will be shown, I think these are from
September.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're into September.
We're getting through them, but man, there's a lot. So
Yeah.
here we are, round number 1.
This is neat. I really, really like the colors in this.
I do too.
Like the red was the first thing that struck me. I like that they put the red in the nails too. It kind of ties it all together for me.
Yep.
Again, I have no idea what this is.
Well, I see some Amanita muscaria, I believe, in the bottom there. That
like-
red and white mushroom.
Is this a character?
Well, so I would think this is kind of like a witch themed.
Yeah.
Which, like, the cool thing about witches back historically is they were in charge of psychedelics, and they were the ones making potions and things like that. So I quite like the salute to that in this sleeve, or this start of the sleeve, or whatever it is. I dig it. This is a really cool approach to a concept, because like a lot of people like the kind of witchy vibe thing. So you get to keep a spooky element, but
What I like about this is it immediately speaks like you could add to this because they've already built
100%.
background into it.
Yeah.
It's not just the witch.
Yep.
If they had done just the witch, I would have been struggling with like seeing a vision to this.
Yeah.
But like because they built in so many other elements, it's really easy for me to understand how they would progress this and build off of it. Maybe do a whole sleeve.
I would think this person seems to be more understanding of larger scale too. Like, you know, it fits the full size of the place that it's going.
Yep.
This didn't get shrunk down and then framed by the skin.
No, they used the area very effectively.
Yeah, and which I prefer that personally.
Even like I think it's a really intelligent approach how they kind of in their own way faded the mushroom off onto the wrist.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, well they're probably not going to go much farther on the wrist. Most people stop around there on the wrist.
Okay, this might be a dumb question. Is this the arm? Or is this the back of the leg? I think this is back of the leg.
I don't know.
Like, I think this is the knee ditch up here.
You could very well be right on that.
Just because I think they're on a bed.
See, my first impression was arm, but
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too, and then the more I stare at it, I'm just like, I'm
this
thinking
could
calf.
be. In either case, it has the same.
Yeah.
It has the same kind of idea, but
Yeah. Fantastically placed,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
yeah, I really like this, and this is a good one to start on.
Yeah.
That orange is solid too. I just want to mention real quick.
Yeah.
Like holy,
And that neon green,
yeah.
lime green kind of look is super nice. I love those turquoises. They
You
just
know what
sing
I also
through.
like? I will say real quick before we move on. This doesn't look like it was filtered,
No.
right? There's
No,
no
this looks clean.
weirdness to this image.
Yep.
I see a lot of filtered shit
Yep.
on Instagram, rifling through Instagram, and this looks really, really normal.
Yes.
And that's a big up to the artist.
Yeah, to
because,
have it be that striking
Yeah.
for that normal of a photo,
yeah,
man,
usually
that's really
you'd be
good.
throwing some kind of a crazy contrast on this or something to get those colors to pop like that.
Yeah.
So,
So whoever did this, very skilled.
yeah, very cool.
Because that's, not even that bleedy or anything. So
No.
It's wild. I like it. I would love to see what the rest of this looks like if you're going to keep going.
Yeah, for sure. Send more if you keep
sending
going.
these because this is dope. All right, round number 2.
Yeah, I like this too. It's a little harder to read at first, but still really cool. I like the neon green in this too.
So what is this style?
I don't know. I've seen stuff like this, and I don't know what to call it. So
Like
maybe someone in the comments will know.
My knee-jerk reaction is to think kind of Blackwork, but that's just because the concept seems
I
Blackworky.
think it borders that for sure.
But obviously we're using color, so it's not Blackwork. But
Yeah.
I just like it. It's aggressive.
And it's, again, another one where you can easily add to this.
Yeah.
You just do more of it, right? Like, I like stuff looking at stuff where I have a direction with.
Yeah.
We had I don't want to beat this one to death, but I rewatched our one from last week.
Yep.
And we had that face tattoo on the back of the head.
Yeah.
And that is the polar opposite of this for me.
Yes.
Where it's just like, here's a tattoo. It's just stamped on you.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know where this goes from here, and it makes me anxious. Right? I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do now. I
Yeah.
have this face on me.
Yeah.
And it's not in a placement for it. This...
I agree.
I have every part of me knows where this could go. You know what I mean? Like, you could just keep going. And that soothes me.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It makes
Keeps my
me feel
OCD calm.
Yeah.
Because there is something about that. Like, and maybe that's what they're going for. You know what I mean? That
Oh, I'm sure.
calm or whatever.
But I've always been a symmetry guy.
Yeah, I know.
Like, even if you look at my piercings, my ears have gotten pretty unsymmetrical over the years. But, like, overall, I like symmetry a lot. If I have one thing on one side, it's got to be... Even you see that in my new tattoos that I'm doing.
Yep.
The spider eyes are parallel, right? I have one armpit tattoo, so I have the other armpit tattoo, right? Like, it has to be in balance for me.
Yep.
And if it's not, it really bugs me.
Man, me too.
So,
Yep.
yeah, this one I like a lot because I see where it can go
Yeah, me too.
if they want to.
Yep.
So,
I like it. And again, if you're doing more, send more because I'd love to see them more of these concepts. Like, I always like a chrysanthemum tattoo. They're kind of a nightmare to design.
oh, I can imagine.
But man, they're cool. They're always just so cool. All right, next up.
So this
few
one
angles.
we got
Oh,
4.
yeah. The one
And
we
this
couldn't
is-
tell what the hell was going
Yeah,
on.
it was a terrible photo.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is way better photos.
Yeah.
Like, way better.
Yep.
So, like, this is a perfect one for anytime we bitch and moan about terrible photos and go on and on about your room instead. This is what you should send.
Yes.
Because even though this isn't a great tattoo, in my opinion, it's a lot cooler to see the tattoo
Yeah.
than the room.
See, what I always see when it comes to things like this is I see the year.
Yeah, I see the year and I see like maybe more than one artist worked on this thing and maybe the artist was still learning or maybe they were an older artist that hasn't kept up with the times.
Yeah.
You know, like there's all kinds of things this speaks to me. Like, because all of these details on their own, they look pretty cool when you get close up on them. That's the problem is you want something that's going to look cool no matter where you are.
Yep.
Like you want it to be striking
From across the room, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's what we're preaching.
So a lot of these little details just don't hold up from far. It just looks like generic tattoo arm. Like you get that, you know, those shirts you could buy that have the
where it's
tattoo
like
sleeves.
sleeve.
Yeah.
You get generic sleeve one.
Or like the old
sleeve
shirt
two.
that had like the 6-pack abs.
Yeah.
Right? Like where it's like, that's not real.
Yeah.
Like, it has that kind of an effect.
Yep. I mean, what I will say, like a day of reworking some of this stuff, and then all of a sudden you've got a lot more life to it.
Yeah, you can bring this back
Yeah.
just to some extent.
Okay, here's a question: why don't you think people do that?
I just think that they think about the amount of time it took to do it.
And then they just don't want to do it more?
Well, I think they assume that it's necessarily going to be that much work to do it again.
Oh.
Like every part of it will need to be hit again. And,
Yeah.
and then they think about the money and I think it just goes into like this panic state where it's like, oh, maybe someday.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like it's exhausting to think
Whenever
about.
I hit the lottery.
Well, I had that a bit with my torso.
Yeah.
Right? Like where I was looking at all those tentacles and when Lee and I were blacking out my sleeves, it was like, well, when I'm done the sleeves and the chest, I'm going to have Rick redo the tentacles. And I think he could have done it.
Yeah, you could have.
But like,
It wouldn't have been as cool.
Would it have been worth it? How long would it take? Like,
Well, it would have taken less time than you blacking out your entire
But,
body
like,
and then going over it with black
I
and
don't
white.
hate being tattooed anyway.
I know you don't.
So it's like, I was weighing a lot of pros and cons personally of like, is it better than the blackout will be?
Yeah.
You know, and now what we're doing is better anyway.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
prefer
just-
this direction. It's very cool.
Like there was a lot of things I was weighing, and I'm sure a lot of people have that same, like, what can I do? Like,
Yeah.
it just seems sort of helpless
Yep.
sometimes when you look at a big disaster on your arm. Well, seriously,
I
that's how it was
get
with
it.
my right arm.
Yeah.
And Lee and I joked about it for like 2 years before I pulled the plug on it.
Yeah.
Like, we're just gonna have to black it out because how?
Yeah.
Like there's almost no pictures of that sleeve.
That's one of those things that when we talk
There's
about...
a lot like this.
Yeah, yeah. When we talk about like graduating tattoos,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, I find it hilarious that like, you know, you had tattoos, like the most prominent tattoos were like rough. And then you got to like the Witch King,
Mm-hmm.
which is like the best tattoo you have. And it was on the back of your thigh and no one was going to see it.
Yep.
It was like, holy shit, man. Like, but that's how you kind of, you grow in your tattooing. As you run out of space, your tattoos get better. And
And
it's
as
just
they
like,
get
oh,
better
shit.
and they get more and more hidden,
Yeah.
sadly.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Then it's like, who is this for?
For me, I
Yeah.
know it's there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Anyway, yeah, this is a better shot of this for sure, but
Yeah.
it doesn't clear up all the issues.
No, of course not.
Still, it's still better to see it in the light.
Yeah, I appreciate that for sure. I just like the follow up too. Anytime that happens, I'm
Yep.
like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I like follow-ups.
All right, next up.
Yeah, this is a really cool one. I seen this one in my email, and I was excited to talk about this because I really like all the dots. Is there dots and stipple shading in this?
Yes.
Both? Like, it looks like there's both.
Yep.
But, like, again, I've been wrong on that before, so...
No, you're definitely right. Like, there's everything that you're seeing here, like within the legs and
Yeah.
all that shading. Yeah, that's there. And then you've got your dot work going into the snake. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this because it's so many styles kind of fused together.
Yep.
It's illustrative, but it's black and gray at
Yep.
its core. But it's done. They take a different path to get there. There's some typical black and gray shading. Then there's stippling. Then there's dots. But and the line work is really crisp too.
Yep.
Right. Like there's a lot going on here that when you just look at it from afar, if you're not familiar with tattooing, it's just like, oh yeah, it's a really cool piece.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, but you don't know how much it took to get here. Like, there's a good understanding.
My only thing that like I wonder if we'll ever be able to get away from is like obviously they black and grayed this
Yeah.
to pull the saturation because it was going to be red, and it's going to be mostly red in those areas that you aren't seeing the stipple shading or you're just
Yep.
seeing regular shading, because like that's as the skin gets beat up, it's just going to be red there. I kind of wish we could just normalize like, hey, that's
Yeah, normalize redness in tattoos.
yeah, it's just kind of like yep, that's what happens.
Well, I think that we should because it's not the artist's fault.
No.
Always. Sometimes
Yeah,
it
sometimes,
can
for
be.
sure.
But like different people's skin flare up differently.
Yep.
Right. So
Like what I was working on yesterday.
maybe he does this tattoo 2 days in a row. One day it's super angry. The next day it's normal.
Or 2 spots on the body.
Yeah, 2 spots on the
know what I
body.
mean?
Yeah, there's all kinds of factors. And yeah, you're right. This would look, it would be interesting to see this in daylight rather than this black and white. But I understand why
And-
people do this.
And it does give the client or like customers more of an understanding of what they should be looking for when it's healed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because it'll probably be close to this.
Closer to this than it is to that red angry
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
But I understand why people do it. And it's, it's chicken egg thing because now we have a situation where we want our art to be seen, right? So we'll change things about it that are unsightly, right, in quotations, so that it will have a chance of being seen.
Yes.
Because if you put something ugly up and 3 people scroll by it, all of a sudden no one's seeing it anymore, right?
And then you're screwed.
Yeah, it forces you into this mentality of, well, I love my tattoo the way it is, but I have to make sure everyone else does too, or else no one sees this thing.
Yep. And then I get no more clients.
It sucks.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, last but not least.
So we've seen some of this guy's stuff before.
Yep.
This is a repeat. He's got a lot of this same kind of stuff going. And I really like the idea of this. I'm just going to struggle to bring it all together again, right? Like,
Yep.
because there's a lot of these on this guy, but like you're going to have, like, what kind of shading can you do to bring this together?
Well, I mean, I don't even know if you would for this. Like, I think it's going to be one of those, like, you're
Why
going to
do I assume everyone wants a bodysuit?
just because that's who you are, bro. Like, you're just like,
all at
so
once
how are you going to
realized-
make this all fully
Yeah,
saturated?
so how are you going to tie this into your throat?
Because, like, okay, so for some
fucking risk
people,
that, dude.
especially with black work like this,
Yeah.
the background is your skin. Like, that people like that look from time to time.
Yeah.
I don't in particular.
No, me
I like
either.
having just because it seems like it seems to me like you missed a step.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like just kind of like you should think that there is more to this space that it's going on, and you should have a plan for it, is the way that I think about it. But I understand that, like, for a lot of people, they just like the look of black ink next to pale skin, like, or just skin in general, because it's just like that is its own background. It's like,
contrast.
obviously these are stamped on here kind of thing. Yeah, contrast for sure makes them stand out a little bit more.
Like for me, it's just how do I do more?
Yeah.
I want to do more.
Yeah, I agree.
And as much as I like these little tattoos, I just can't get behind stamps. I just can't do it. Sarah's arm drives me crazy. Her left arm drives me nuts because it's like, you're going to do the background for that, right? Oh, yeah, one day. It's like, ugh.
But it'll be, what, dots?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to have to be.
Yeah.
And I kind of pity whoever does it because it's going to be boring.
Yeah, agreed. And I understand why a lot of people just don't end up getting there, because it's like, that's just pretty boring.
Well, what artist is going to go, hey, I can't wait to tie that together for you.
Hooray, let's sit down for an hour and do some dots, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not
Let's waste
exciting
my day.
for anyone.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, keep on sending these in. We'll catch up to where we are eventually at some point
one
in
day.
time. But yeah, keep on rolling.
Yes, please.